to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Friday, 13 December. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be covering: a Dutch court has ruled against a weapon ban to Israel. Macron names a new prime minister. And the US has banned visas for Georgians accused of undermining democracy. So firstly, the Hague District Court has dismissed a lawsuit by a pro-Palestinian activist seeking to ban the Netherlands from selling arms to Israel, ruling that there is no legal basis to impose a total prohibition on military and dual-use exports. The court emphasised that the Dutch government has the discretion in its arms exports and noted that judicial intervention should be limited. It also acknowledged the state's existing measures to assess the risk of exported goods being used unlawfully, including occasionally refusals of certain exports. This decision comes in the context of a broader scrutiny of the Netherlands' arms trade with Israel, following a previous case where the government suspended the export of F-35 fighter jet parts. The activists, a coalition of NGOs, accused the Dutch authorities of complicity in alleged war crimes, arguing that Dutch arms were being used by Israel in Gaza, which they termed a genocide. They pointed to the high civilian casualties and referred to a January order from the International Court of Justice requiring Israel to prevent acts of genocide. Israel has strongly denied these accusations, maintaining that its operations target Hamas and other militant groups rather than civilians. The Dutch government, for its part, denied violating the 1948 Genocide Convention and continues to appeal the earlier ruling regarding the F-35 parts. So what? While the ban would unlikely have a direct effect on Israel's war effort, it would have significant diplomatic ramifications, mainly as Israel has not been found guilty of any crimes, despite the ICC ruling. Though this case is over and is unlikely to be the end of the story, and it is almost certain that these NGO groups will continue to try to disrupt arms sales to Israel. One thing that could be worth looking into is who funds these court cases, as they are likely costly. As the saying goes, always follow the money. And next, French President Emmanuel Macron has appointed Francis Geor as France's new Prime Minister, following the resignation of Michel Barnier, whose government was ousted by the far-right and far-left lawmakers. The appointment comes amid a significant political crisis in 6 months, and after Macron delayed naming a replacement beyond his self-imposed 48-hour deadline. Bayrou, a 73-year-old centrist leader of the MoDem party, allied with Macron's Renaissance party, has been tasked with forming a new government to stabilise the political landscape. This marks Bayrou as Macron's sixth prime minister, with each of his predecessors serving progressively shorter terms. He's a seasoned political figure and has held many roles as Justice and Education Minister. He's also served in the European Parliament and run for president 3 times. Long considered to be a contender for the Prime Minister role, his appointment follows his February acquittal in a case involving alleged fraudulent employment of parliamentary assistants by his party. Bayrou's leadership comes at a critical junction for Macron as he seeks to navigate the fallout of the last brief tenure and address the deepening divisions within French politics. So what? This is going to be an uphill battle, and one he is unlikely to win. It is possible that the larger parties from the left and right will attempt to disrupt the leadership again, likely hoping for Macron to step down and have another presidential election. And lastly, the United States has imposed visa restrictions on around 20 individuals in Georgia accused of undermining democracy, including sitting ministers of parliament and law enforcement officials, according to the State Department. This decision follows escalating political turmoil in Georgia after the ruling Georgia Dream Party claimed victory in a contested election in October. Protests have erupted against the party's decision to delay Georgia's bid to join the European Union, leading to hundreds of arrests and allegations of a brutal crackdown on protesters, media, and opposition figures. The State Department condemned the ruling party's actions and announced plans for further measures, including potential sanctions to hold those responsible accountable. Tensions are expected to rise as Georgia Dream prepares to replace the pro-Western president with a far-right former soccer player. But the current president has refused to step down, calling the government illegitimate and supporting opposition claims of electoral fraud. Her defiance has made her a rallying figure for the protesters, many of whom have vowed to protect her against any attempts to remove her from office. The unfolding crisis highlights the deepening divisions within Georgian politics and the potential for further unrest in the country. So what? Though this is more of a symbolic move, this is the first significant move by a Western country against the Georgian Dream Party. While it is unlikely to have an effect, it does show that there is support for the protesters and the people of Georgia. Clearly, it is unlikely that the protests will end anytime soon, and they are likely to become more violent. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced and affordable. There's more information in the description. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.